All right, Bang Bang. Today is Thursday, October 24th, Chicago Dog Walk. Guests of the day are Kyle and John from Zombie Army Productions. They produce Hell's Gate, as well as Statesville Haunted Prisons, Haunted House. Guys, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having us in.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Wild show today. Wild show. You guys can't see, but this will be on video later. We have 11 people in here from the Haunted House.
You can call them people, I guess. Yeah.
11 haunters. What's the exact name?
Well, we got creatures, we got prisoners, we got prison guards from Statesville, we got creatures from Hell's Gate, something that crawled up from City of the Dead. So it's a mix.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is like a live show. So this worked out. So I guess first and foremost, like, how did you guys get into the business? How long you been doing it?
I've been doing this since 1998. I was a theater guy down in Carbondale.
Oh, went to Carbondale too.
Yeah, Salukis.
There
All
we
right,
go.
right on, man. That's where I did my first haunted house. It was in the mall.
Oh, shit.
In
All right.
Carbondale, and there in an old shoe store.
They'd die to have you back. I'll say
And
that.
yeah, not a lot going on in Carbondale right now. But yeah, did that. Wrote a thesis on why theater people should do haunted houses, and I've been doing it ever since 1998.
Sweet. So it worked. It started in the mall, and then how did you become like this big production company that is with these monster haunted houses in Chicago?
Right. Well, I came up to Chicago, started swinging a hammer on a construction site because I had, crazy idea of starting a haunted house company, and got real lucky. Ran into a farmer, Paul Siegel, who had been doing a haunted hayride and like a dark haunted house, Statesville haunted barn and whatnot, and showed him my thesis. We got along real well, and right out of the gate, I was able to start my kind of interactive, immersive type of horror show, which is Statesville Haunted Prison. And since then, we've been producing haunted houses around Chicagoland, consulting around the country, even traveling overseas a little bit.
Oh,
checking
wow.
out some houses, yeah.
Who's getting overseas over there?
Some fun ones down in New Zealand, some good ones in Australia. We send Zombie Army members to Australia now every year to work
Really?
down there. Yeah, so like we have a Zombie Army Productions exchange program now with Hollywood Horror Nights, like Australian style. So that's a good
that
time.
is cool.
Yeah,
That is
we
cool.
send them down there to go down there and scare all the Aussies.
So what's the breakdown? There's the haunters. There's the set builders. Like how many like different like subcategories are there?
Jeez, Kyle runs a lot of the day crews. You got your builders, your lighting people, your costume people, makeup people.
Yeah, then your regular haunted house actors, your management team, your tech team. Everybody's kind of important there. There's a lot of us.
Then you got customer service, bus fleet, security. We got over 500 people in
Wow.
Zombie Army
Full
producing
production,
these two
for sure.
shows.
So is there someone who's in charge of all those subcategories, or is there you guys just pretty much run it all?
Well, when it comes down to it, so the way it's kind of built, because we are running two different attractions, right? So there's a balance there. I'm the director and designer of both shows, so I'll travel back and forth every other night. And then Kyle here, he runs Statesville Haunted Prison, so he's a production manager over there.
Cool.
And then it's kind of like a theater kind of management structure. We got your technical directors, stage managers, PAs throughout, and then we have over 150 actors at each location on any given night.
All right. So who's the guy or girl that kind of rolls out the plans before the season is like, here's what we're doing. Like, I want this room I want this room to look like this. Who does all that?
That'd be John for sure.
Okay.
He comes up with the concept and the idea of what the hell we're gonna do. We kind of look at him like he's crazy, and then we kind of put it all together.
Nice. And is that like your favorite part?
I like the building. Yeah, I like the creating. Yeah, it's every year we kind of tear down or redo 30 to 40% of both houses. And that's the part where, that's where you're really kind of pushing the limits of how you're going to scare someone, how you're going to entertain someone, or what's changed out there with technology or engineering, or what just weird idea we came up with, whether we went caving somewhere or skydiving. It's like we try to also use our off season to go find terrifying things to do. Just so that we're always confronting that ourselves.
I love that because that's similar to us. We put ourselves in a situation because we're content people, and I went to Wyoming for like a rodeo this year. I would never go to that.
Right.
But like it's just like let's see, let's try to see what's going on there in a different part of the world. So, but yeah, that's fun. So does it start like November 1, or do you guys take like a couple months, or when does it really start like planning this stuff?
We kind of work all the way up until Christmas at this point. And that's just shutting down the show. Just winterizing it, packing it up, paying everyone. Wow. And part of our business is parties, and and then a hell of a lot more parties.
Ooh.
It's Zombie Army Productions. I mean, that's kind of the jam is we all have this production company and we're doing these haunted houses, but at the same time, we're throwing parties, whether we're getting paid to throw parties for other people or we're just throwing them for ourselves because if we're not having fun and knocking back drinks after a show, it's not worth doing. It's like, it's a good time, but it's a lot more fun when at the end of the night, you're around a bonfire with 50 of your friends that you just kind of scared people in the dark with, trading stories of what you did all night. So there's a lot of parties that go into this business.
Wow, so it is pretty much year-round in a sense.
Yeah, oh God, God, yeah. And we travel, it's like, a bunch of a collection you see here. We travel around the country. So we're going to conventions around the country, or we're going to see other people's haunted houses. We're all flying to Georgia to go see one of the biggest haunted houses down in Georgia in November as soon as our show is done. It's a nonstop pursuit, man. It's we're entertainers, so we're always looking for that next thing to bring back to our audience.
And where do you get these haunters? Where do these people come from? They love Halloween, or what is this?
Work release programs, government mandated work release programs, fantastic programs. I love it. We put out the ads. You want to scare people for money. You want to come have a strange life experience, and every year we get this amazing group of strange, weird, talented, funny, beautiful human beings that want to come sweat and bleed with us behind the walls. Kyle didn't have a choice. When I started this, Kyle was 9 years old, and I was kind of like his ward, so I dragged him into the haunted house and threw him in a cage. He didn't have much.
I've been in that cage ever since.
There you go. Not a bad cage to be in. All right. Oh, yeah. And 22 days. I was talking to Kyle a little bit before this. 22 days. That's it.
We make all of our money in 22 days.
That's incredible.
We spend it all year long.
That's incredible.
we only get that 1 month to make it.
That's incredible. How do you gauge pricing? Like, what should be like the cost of a haunted house? Like, do you?
I've always looked at it this way, man. There's a value per dollar ratio I'm always looking at for my customers. And looking at haunted houses across the country, if you're getting $1 a minute, you're getting a real good deal. Mm-hmm. So my goal is to always be giving you more than a minute per dollar while you're in. At both of our attractions, you're inside for 45 minutes.
Really?
And that for $30. And in the haunted house world, that's super cheap. For 45 minutes of a hell ride.
45 minutes, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know it was that long.
Oh, yeah. Statesville Haunted Prison. You're trying to find your way through this prison, through one cell after another for 45 minutes before you get out. That's 44 cells. It's 150 convicts coming at you. Hell's Gate, you have to walk in the woods, walk through the forest, across a cemetery, up a hill, and that's before you find the haunted house. Once you find it, you got to go through secret passages throughout the entire thing, take a slide down into the basement. We like to design other worlds.
It's definitely worth it. Do people know? Like, not everyone does. I feel like everyone doesn't know that haunted houses go this long.
Yeah, no. It's a different kind of breed of haunt that we're doing too. We're not just messing around at a strip mall here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there like do the haunters, they fight over certain spots? Like, is there like, I want to be the guy with the pig mask this year.
What's your worst one at Statesville?
They all want to be clowns. Everyone's from a 16-year-old girl all the way up to a 40-year-old man. They all want to be clowns. So there's only so many clowns you can actually have. So we just cast basically on either body style, body type, your movement, and what you can do, or if you can actually last the entire time,
And are you teaching them? Is there a certain way?
Yeah,
is there
John
a method?
teaches, we have 3 different style classes that we do before the show. So he's got his basic intro to movement class, then there's an advanced character class, then we do our safety training class. So we kind of get an idea of, kind of see everybody before they're actually ever in costume or makeup and get a chance to say, that guy is going to be a great chainsaw guy, or that guy's going to be a great prison inmate. So we do have an idea of what they can do before that. But a lot of them, they just surprise us. A lot of these characters, they develop themselves and kind of come at us with, this is what I want to do, and John and I will talk to each other like, let's give them a chance, and that's what it is. Or, no way, that's not going to work.
That's great. And what makes a good room? Like, what is like a couple key pieces?
He wrote a book on this.
Did you really?
Get ready for an answer on this one.
Wow. Yeah, I love, the room has to do all sorts of things for me, right? So the room, first of all, has to set the customer uneasily, at a state of unease. I've got to be able to get you that right away. The room itself has to have distractions set up throughout the room, because at the core of it, the room has to empower the actor. So if I design a room that makes you uneasy and it's got all sorts of wonderful distractions, whether it's props or set pieces, all of that is to distract you so I can set up and empower the actor. So a good haunted house room is a room an actor can hunt you in, is something an actor can work
So
in.
that's the key. You want every room to be a room where the person's hanging on to the door frame, not wanting to go in.
Oh, yeah. Or as soon as you cross that threshold, doing everything you can to get out. The best flow control in haunted houses, man, is scare them out.
Yeah.
Scare them out of your room. You know? If you want that flow to keep moving and people to keep coming, then you better scare everybody out of your room. So all that design is to get you to come into that room and then really an explosion of fear to move you out of that room.
Yeah, so what's like the longest line you guys have had?
Holy moly.
Like time-wise? Or?
Yeah, like what is there? Just to, wrap around, give me like
We had 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
4.5 hours.
And some of them, it's 3.5 hours just before you even get a ticket. And then it's another hour, hour and a half.
These
Just
people,
waiting.
and some of these people are lined up an hour and a half before we open. So some of that just, you were there an hour and a half before we even got there.
And they're driving 5-6 hours just to see our one show, and
Yep.
then standing in line for 4.5 hours.
That's incredible.
Hell's Gate has people flying from all over the country and some people flying from overseas just to see Hell's Gate.
We had people flying from Germany this year just to see the show.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And what's the biggest halt you guys have in the line? What holds things up?
What holds things
Yeah,
up?
like
Man, I call it cat in a bathtub syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter who you are. It could be a high school girl. It could be a 50-year-old dude. It could be Brian Urlacher. And he has messed up our show before. Does not want to move forward. And that's what I call cat in a bathtub.
Cat in a
Their arms go straight out like they're grabbing on the hallway, the door jam. They don't want to move. And then they just back everybody up through the haunted house.
Man.
So then we got cameras on you. We got people all over. So we're calling in like a 911 dispatch. We got a clog in the pipe. And so we come running in to try to scare you forward. Does not always work when it is someone like Brian Urlacher.
He's a hard person to scare.
So Brian Urlacher, this is the story. He just wouldn't move.
Okay, so he came,
Yeah.
and he came on the down low, right? He didn't want anyone to know. He's wearing a little baseball hat, and a little secret
Hood up.
agent-like, and we respect that. When you come
For
out,
sure.
we want to treat you like a person, not a celebrity. So we're like, yeah, we got you, Brian, no problem. We're going to sneak you and your friends in. No one's going to know you're here, buddy. And I always have that kind of hospitality out there for celebrities when they come. Kyle, my brother, on the other hand, did not have that same hospitality that I've always led with. Like, I always like to call him Mr. Smith or something like that. Kyle gets Urlacher and his friends in, and Urlacher does not want to go into the claustrophobia hallway. And Kyle is just riding on his backside going, "What's wrong with you, Briggs? Get your ass in there, Briggs! You ain't that big! What are you, a linebacker, Briggs?" And Urlacher the whole time is looking back going, "What? Not my name!"
Kill you. Yeah, so instead of trying to scare him, which I knew I was not going to be able to do, I just decided to piss him off. And
Love that
he
move.
would he would chase me.
And so you get
Love
mad
that
at Kyle
move.
the entire time.
But he'd move.
But he was moving. And at the very end, it turns out Urlacher does not like our clown room.
No.
Not at all. And he wanted out of the clown room as fast as possible. And dude can run. Turns out
Very
those are part
fast.
of his measurable
That
skill.
4.6 is real.
And that man ran as fast as he could into a Lexan wall, which is basically bulletproof glass, that had a mirror effect on the other side. And when I'm saying that man ran hard, it like bended in and then shot Urlacher back and on his ass.
Yeah, it shook the
It
whole
knocked
room.
him on his ass. Kyle comes running up thinking, "Oh my God, we just concussed
our star player."
our star linebacker, and we're playing the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday." Kyle comes up to make sure he's okay. He's like, "Briggs, you okay?"
He's still staying in
Urlacher
character.
stands up, lifts my little brother up by his collar, up in the air, slams him up against the wall, and says, "Get me the fuck out of here, little man."
and he you went to the chicken exit?
Oh yeah. He picked me up, and no, he actually made it through. I said, "All right, follow me. This is enough. He's gonna kill me." Actually,
That's
I
incredible.
thought we killed him, and then his eyes were this big.
That Minnesota game was so lights out. He
They
was
went
fantastic.
on like an
He
8 or
was
9
alright.
game win streak after that.
Could
So,
you imagine if he's had like a bruise over his eyebrow?
Yeah.
It's like, I know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I know
we
how
did
he
that.
got
We did
that.
that
Yeah,
too.
that
He would
was-
never admit it though, because he was
It
like
was-
whispering in my ear, like, "Hey, is there anything that's like claustrophobic?" And I'm like, "No, you'll be fine, Briggs. You'll be fine."
That's incredible. We've had him on the show before.
Yeah,
Next time
he's
we're
a good
definitely
guy,
gonna mess with
for
him.
sure.
He was a blast.
That's incredible. How like common is shitting or like pissing your pants?
Shitting is, we're at once a night, really.
Once a night,
We only
someone's
know
shitting
this
their
because
pants.
they leave the underwear behind.
Yeah, they
right?
drive-
I
there's
mean, no one
nothing
wants to
worse
drive
than
home
that.
in that. Pissing is regular. Like that's like the kids all get like badges of honor when they make someone piss. But the pooping, I don't understand it. Never have.
Yeah, I mean, you will go out for cleanup, and there's literally just shitty drawers just laying in the middle. They'll take off their pants, they'll unwind, they won't clean themselves, they'll just leave their shitty boxers in the middle or their shitty panties in the middle of the floor.
And then we have Kenny.
Yeah,
Pick
Kenny,
all that up.
he's right here.
Kenny.
That's Kenny.
Yeah,
Kenny.
he's a shit cleaner.
He's a shit-
It's a hard job, but
Yeah.
somebody's got to do
Puke.
it.
Honorable job.
Yeah.
Puke,
Honorable
piss,
job.
and poop.
Puke, piss, and puke.
Yeah.
So what's the power rankings? What happens the most? So piss is the most.
Piss is definitely.
Piss.
Yeah,
Piss.
piss is throw
Yeah.
up second.
Throw up a second over shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We get a lot
yeah.
of drunks that come in and
Yeah.
they're
They
nervous
puke.
to go
Yeah,
in,
that's
so-
true. The drunks.
Well,
yeah,
and
the drunks.
if you forget to breathe, like that's a real common thing when people are in the haunted house. They just forget to breathe.
Yeah.
So like either you're gonna pass out or you're gonna puke. One of those two things.
Passing out and puking.
Anything so bad that you had to shut it down? Like it was like
Well,
this is.
remember the actress that got pissed on?
Oh yeah,
That was a
yeah.
good one.
That was
Ooh.
funny though.
Yeah, you tell that story. That's a good
well,
one.
she was sitting down, and we have a rule: don't sit down. If she didn't sit down, she would have never been within peeing aim.
It would never. Yeah, maybe that's the top half of it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's unfortunately that happened. We've had people come out on stretchers, of course. That goes through the not breathing thing.
Yeah.
You just stop breathing, you pass out, you go down.
Heart attack.
What's
we
a
had a
guy
heart
to
attack
do?
in there.
Ooh. And how do they deal with getting hit, getting touched? Like how do you guys
We
deal with
don't.
that? No.
No, I mean, we of course, we'll take it. Sometimes it happens. Unruly guests, drunk
Yeah.
guests, or cowards. I guess people who think that they're tough guys by
Yeah.
punching someone in a costume.
Yeah.
It happens. But we have a rule: we will not touch our customers, man. We are there to scare you. We're there to entertain you. We are not there to violate you.
Gotcha. And have you found out that there was like is this possible to do year round here? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, is it possible haunted? Like, Wisconsin Dells, you ever been up there?
Yeah.
They do one like that. Is that possible?
I mean, they got those little thrill closets, I call them. No, I don't think so. I don't think you can do a real production year round.
Yeah.
And why? Why do it? It's
Yeah.
I think there's something really great about this kind of a American cultural thing that has grown out of Halloween. I mean, this is a very American thing, these haunted houses. I love the idea that it goes hand in hand with fall and scary movies coming out, and then the leaves are dying and blowing around. Like, there's something really great about that. It's very Americana. And then to spread it out all year long, you may as well go back to the shoe store on the mall.
Yeah, it is. I guess you respect the seasons, then, John. The Christmas time. It's for the trees, and the summer's for the fairs. So
Exactly.
I got you. That's good. What's something that used to fly back in the day that you can't do anymore? Like coffins, like claustrophobia things. Like, is that like no goes
I'd
anymore?
say being the prop. That was one of my first jobs. I'd go up, and John would use me to go up to like a nice young family or other family kids, and I'd go up and say, my mommy doesn't have enough money for a ticket for herself, but I really want to go in. And then they'd tag along, and I'd walk through the entire haunted house and pretend like I was getting scared the whole time. And then the last room, John would set me up and have this killer clown with a chainsaw rip me from this mother and her family and pull me into the haunted house.
Wow.
And
We call it planting.
yeah, that was bad.
So why can't that happen?
You know what?
can't find a lot of
Mama
kids.
bear syndrome, really. What happens is these people that are protecting young children like Kyle used to be, they can't control themselves, and they violently attack us. It was a gag that worked so well that we would get beat up all the time by middle-aged women that thought they were protecting that young kid when it was just a plant. And then when they'd find out that the kid was a plant and he was in on the entire show, and then I got these 9-year-old little grifter children working for me, then the people get even more violent, and they go after the 9-year-old.
Yeah, I got punched in the face by an old
I had a
lady.
woman hunting him down once, wanting to kill him. At
So
the
the mama
exit.
bear, and we can't hire 8 and 9-year-olds anymore. That's frowned upon now.
Yeah, it's frowned
Out
upon.
on that.
Some weird child labor laws out there.
What do you think about the haunted houses that give like the money back when they're done, like with the admissions? Is that
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, they don't exist. For the most part, old wives' tales. It's one of the reasons why Hell's Gate, you can actually win your money back.
Oh, really?
Because there's all these stories of a haunted house where you can get your money back, but nobody ever can find that haunted house where you get your money back. Hell's Gate, you can actually win your money back. If you find the key to Hell's Gate, your ticket is free.
And how many people do that a night?
About three
Oh,
a night
okay.
find the key. Yeah.
And it's just like in a random room. It's
It's
that's in
no,
the
it's
woods.
it's
to
a
the-
key room, so you
a
know where it
dedicated
is. You
area.
know when to look. You know there's a time on it. You only get a certain amount of time to find the key.
Interesting.
And it's like a game within the show of the haunted house.
Interesting. And we talked about it a little earlier. What are your thoughts on McCamey Manor, like that type of style? Like that is crazy.
It's not a haunted house.
No, yeah,
I mean, I've
it's
been saying
disgusting.
it for years. It's not a haunted house. It's got nothing to do with what we do at haunted houses. It is an abduction scenario, and if you're into abduction scenarios, cool, then that's for you. But it's got nothing to do with Halloween or haunted houses. It is a man making his own snuff films at your expense, and if you dig that, cool.
Yeah.
But it has no business in the haunted house world.
Yeah.
It doesn't look or reflect anything
No.
else that we do.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
So it's pretty sure it's not a haunted house. It's a completely different thing.
No, it is a man like holding your face underwater
Mm-hmm.
or making you eat dog food or spitting on you.
It's
I mean,
crazy. He was going to go to Southern Illinois. Did you know that?
Yeah,
That
he's
was-
tried all
got the
sorts of
boot.
towns, and they got the boot. But
He's in Tennessee now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just fighting with the city in Tennessee.
he'll be
saw
fighting
that,
there
yeah.
for a while too. It's we'll see how that
I
goes.
saw a documentary on that, and I was
Yeah.
like, knocked off my
Disgusting.
chair.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy. I don't know. Can you ever have enough fake chainsaws?
The real chainsaws.
They're real chainsaws. Oh, look at that one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
She brings her own chainsaw.
that one.
That one is Sharky the Clown. She's got her own little chainsaw.
Yeah, get that on film after this, Matt. Yeah, but I feel like that's a staple, right?
Yeah, it's classic, right? It's everyone and as much as everyone's like, oh, chainsaws are in every haunted house. Also, everyone kind of expects a chainsaw. It's like
If you don't
it's
have
part
one,
of it, right? I mean,
people get
thank
upset.
you, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean,
Yeah.
you changed the horror world with one little movie in the 70s.
And there's something about that sound, just
Sure.
right when you get in that line, you hear that sound,
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
I'm
And
here.
you know it can't catch you, but
I'm
it's
here.
still terrifying.
yeah, hop in.
The witch has something to
but
say. What do you got to say, witch?
It's about the chainsaw. We did not have chainsaw at Hellgate first time, and all reviews say, "Where are the chainsaw?" And so we're like, "Okay, fine, fuck it. Here's some chainsaw."
They had to bring back the chain. The people wanted the chain.
Yeah,
the chain.
they
I'm
wanted
telling
it.
you,
They're chanting
you could
for
never
it.
have enough of those.
No,
Fake
yeah.
chainsaws. That's great. What about people from like horror films? Like, is Michael Myers? Can you guys do that? Is that legal?
We
Like,
don't do that.
No?
And we don't want to do that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
somebody else's idea. That's somebody else's creation. That's somebody else's art.
Interesting,
And
yeah.
good for them. You know, great work. I'm not going to rip off your work. Zombie Army Productions believes in original work. Otherwise, what's the fun in all this if we can't create our own monsters, create our own scary things that go bump in the night? I mean, that's kind of the fun thing here. We're storytellers coming up with new stories.
For sure.
I'd rather play that than throw a bunch of Jasons and Freddys at you. I mean, everyone has seen that.
yeah,
And
for
we're
sure.
friends with all the real Jasons and Freddys, so it's kind of weird if we were knocking them off.
Yeah.
Like Kane Hodder and Robert Englund would be like, John, seriously,
That's great.
Stop
try
stealing
harder,
my
would
shit.
you?
What I mean, have you ever used them? Like even like beforehand, like or have you never used that in
No,
20
never,
years?
never.
Interesting.
No,
Yeah.
since day one, it's always been original.
In your opinion, though, if you like, who is the best? Who's the strongest character for a haunted house out of those guys?
I mean, God, that's a tough one. I mean,
I
for
know
me,
mine.
what are you gonna go with?
I'm Freddy Krueger all day.
Yeah, and me
Kills you in
too.
your dreams.
Robert Englund, and this because of the actor. Yeah, I mean, Robert Englund changed horror icons. He made them talk, and they were funny. Freddy Krueger was funny. He had great
Very funny.
one-liners, and that was new to that whole genre. So like a Freddy Krueger in a haunted house can not only get that good pop scare, but they can talk to you and work with you and
Entertain you all the
interact
time.
with you. I mean, Michael and Jason could just be big
Yeah.
and slow. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all you got. But Freddy, man, he can work all night. That's an entertainer there.
That's true. He's long too.
We
You know,
pay him
that,
double.
yeah.
that
He'd be
alley.
a double. He's a dual threat for sure.
Yeah,
Dual
we
threat.
got to make a movie with Robert Englund. It
Oh,
was
really?
One of my highlights is getting to direct Robert Englund. It was like feel like a little kid on the other side of the camera.
That's awesome.
It was
That's
a lot of
awesome.
fun.
But yeah, I think we're near the end here. Is there anything like I didn't get to, like something people should know, like a weird thing people wouldn't realize working in the Halloween the haunted house industry?
I mean, what I'd say is a lot of people always ask me, and same thing, like what goes on behind the scenes, yeah, and so for all of the weird things, there is a web series that follows us around. It's a reality show, follows Zombie Army around all year long. From when Kyle and I are doing our original designs to going to the trade shows around the country to training our actors, building our sets, and then producing the show and seeing that's the fun part, right? Where all the audience members are screaming and running for their lives. But you can see all of that for free on daysofthelivingdead.com.
Days of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Chad, we just dropped a new episode today at 9 a.m. A new episode dropped, and that was behind the scenes of Hell's Gate and Statesville Haunted Prison during the show. So you get to see the actors backstage and the audience on stage walking through the show. So yeah, daysofthelivingdead.com, and you can go backstage of the whole haunted house world.
Awesome. So yeah, go check that out. Then is there any other Twitter handles or anything, or when's the haunted house open?
Which tell them our Twitters.
Okay, we have lots of, not so much Twitters, mostly Instagrams. Instagram at Fear Hell's Gate for Hellgate Haunted House, at Statesville HP for Haunted Prisons. Then there is at Days of the Living Dead for the web series. Also at the Zombie Army for company as a whole. Thank you.
Great job, Witch.
We bring our own promotional person.
There we go. And then it's open obviously until the 31st. Is there a certain time like people?
Second, right?
Yeah, we're open until November 2nd.
okay.
Open to November 2nd. We're gonna, we've got a Friday and a Saturday immediately after Halloween, so we're gonna keep the party going.
Sweet.
People want to keep coming out to haunted houses, and that last weekend's great because the lines are not super long. So everyone comes that post Halloween and much smaller lines, a lot more fun.
Sweet. And then it's Hell's Gate is in Lockport.
Yep.
Okay. And then Statesville is in Joliet.
It's in Crest Hill.
Crest Hill. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Then go check that out. They open at what time do you guys open?
7.
7. Open at 7. All right.
Are we gonna see you out there or what?
I'll get out there.
They're only
We'll
10
see.
minutes apart, so you can see both of them in one.
Wow.
It's only
I don't know.
what,
These
45-minute drive.
I don't know. They might not have liked the show. They might have they're going to try to scare me extra this time. So we'll see.
They love it. They love it.
All right, yeah, man, get a shot of these people afterwards too, so we could. But yeah, Kyle and John, Zombie Army Productions. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you,
We
man. Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
That's it for today, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Sweet, thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was
Thank
a lot of
you for
fun.
having us.
We appreciate it.
Who's sipping on? Oh, is that yours?